مشاهدينا كل الترحيب لحضراتكم في حلقة جديدة من أوراق الدبلوماسية، ولكن أوراق دبلوماسية في رمضان. في حلقة اليوم من أوراق دبلوماسية احنا موجودين داخل السفارة الإندونيسية في القاهرة، وأكيد بطبيعة الحال هنتكلم عن رمضان في إندونيسيا، رمضان أيضا أو كيف تعيش السفارة هنا في القاهرة. معروف أن إندونيسيا تمثل عدد كبير جدا من المسلمين، حوالي 200 مليون مسلم. هي قد تكون بلد بعيدة من الناحية الجغرافية لكنها قريبة جدا من حيث العلاقات الدبلوماسية، العلاقات على كافة المستويات. يكفي نقول أن عدد كبير جدا من الطلبة من اندونيسيا بيدرسون في الازهر. سريعا نبدا الحوار مباشره مع سياده السفير حلمي فوزي، هو سفير دوله اندونيسيا بالقاهره. First of all, His Excellency Mr. Ambassador Helmi Fauzi, the Ambassador of Indonesia here in Cairo, welcome to our program.
My pleasure.
In this episode, we are going to learn more about Ramadan. You have been in Cairo for 2 years.
40 years, exactly.
So how can you see Ramadan in Cairo?
I see Ramadan in Egypt is like a festival. It's like celebrations. So it's similar like in Indonesia. Spiritually and also culturally. So for instance, in Cairo, I can feel that Ramadan is very lively. The evening, the night is very colorful. You see, we can see the lantern. People put lantern everywhere.
رمضان في مصر ليه طعم تاني، طقوس وعادات مش هتشوفها في أي مكان غير هنا. كهارب، بخور، فوانيس، ألوان. مصر أم الدنيا، روحها في رمضان.
Even ordinary people provide foods for the guests, for the travelers. So I very much impressed and very much touched with this tradition of Maidatul Rahman in Egypt. Provide food for those who fasting, even the strangers. So when the first time I came here in 1999, I was students. By then I studied at Europe, and on my way back from Indonesia to Europe, I stopped over in Cairo. It was in Ramadan. And I want to break my fasting, and then suddenly I end up in this Maidatul Rahman. Someone established a tent there and provide musafir, provide the travelers with food, and I was very impressed. I thought it was just like a restaurant, a makeshift restaurant, but then I realized it's food for free, the Maidatul Rahman. Then I'm very impressed with this tradition. Hence, when I became the ambassador of Indonesia to the Republic Arab of Egypt, I also follow this tradition. Every Ramadan, in front of Indonesian Cultural Center in Doki, we also install Maidatul Rahman, provide food for those who fasting in front of our Indonesian Cultural Center. In Indonesia, usually restaurants provide small bites, just small bites.
Or sweets.
Or sweets,
yes.
Just like that. It's not a complete menu like here in Egypt. Or people actually in Indonesia, they provide and send food to the mosque. So people in the mosque can have their dinner, breaking their fasting. But here in Egypt, Maidatul Rahman is in front of their houses.
Yes.
So it is very impressive. And I feel also this is a reflection of the generosity and warmth of the Egyptian people, even toward visitors, foreign visitors. I feel at home because when I came to this Baitur Rahman, the host also greeted me and welcomed me warmly to have dined there to break my fasting. So it's very impressive.
We know that the spread of Islam in Indonesia started because of Arabian trade.
Yes.
How and when?
The spread of Islam in Indonesia was begun, I think, on the 14th centuries. So until now, there is still debate where the Islam come from, whether from the Arabian traders from Yemen, or also the Chinese traders, because by then there was a famous Chinese admiral that also a Muslim. So still now there is research in Indonesia when exactly Islam entered Indonesia. But Islam already part of Indonesian cultures. It's assimilated with Indonesian traditional cultures. It also reflects in a number of Islamic holidays in Indonesia, where you can see a typical Indonesian celebrations of Islamic holidays, where there is this kind of acculturations within Indonesian traditional cultures and tradition of Islam.
We start talking about Ramadan in Indonesia in details. How did Java, we are talking about Java,
Yes.
how did Java become the most Muslim populated island, and how did it spread to the other islands?
Yes, Java is the most populated island in Indonesia, and the spread of Islam in Java is spread by what we call it the 9 Islamic teachers. So in spreading Islam, they also use traditional methods. For instance, there is this traditional art of Indonesia, which is known as the shadow puppet art. This is a kind of storytelling using puppet. Usually, this tradition is come from India during the Hindus time, but then these Islamic teachers in Indonesia that spread Islam in the very beginning, when Islam entered Indonesia, use this kind of method in spreading Islam. So Islam was spread to Indonesia through cultural means.
جاوة الأشد غواية والأكثر ترحابا، فهي صاحبة حضارة تعود إلى أكثر من 1000 عام احتفظت خلالها بكل قوتها وعنفوانها.
What are Ramadan traditions in Indonesia?
Ramadan Indonesia, like like
in
Egypt,
Java, in Sumatra, in other places?
it's a festival. Basically, it's a festival. So in Ramadan, for instance, we can see a number of children play traditional plays, or that only exists in Ramadan, during Ramadan. For instance, in Ramadan, there is tradition of Indonesian children play with fireworks. So this is also once again reflect the Chinese influence in celebrating holidays, but it was also adopted in Islam in Indonesia, and also in Indonesia there are a number of very distinctive cuisine.
Cuisine, yeah.
Yes, that only serve
Very special in Ramadan.
very special, that only serve during Ramadan. The food is very special, not like ordinary days.
Serve it on this table.
Serve on this table,
Yes.
with the complete menu, from the appetizer to the dessert. So the desserts also. Usually, we begin breaking the fasting, eating something sweet. Eating something sweet, and then it goes to the main menu, and then the dessert.
How Indonesian family prepare for this holy months?
Usually, each family prepare the dishes for whether for sahur or for iftar.
Yes.
And usually in Ramadan, it's very special because usually the dish is a full set dish. Unlike ordinary days, we only provide, for instance, ordinary food. But in Ramadan, usually every household provide a full set of dishes.
How does the Indonesian embassy celebrate the holy month or Ramadan with its own community here in Egypt?
Here in Egypt, we organize the prayer every night during the Ramadan, and also Indonesian embassy organize what do you call it, iftar, the breaking of the fasting, and here also in the embassy residence, I organize iftar for Indonesian students, Indonesian community, and also for our Egyptian friends.
Finally, Mr. Ambassador, how important is the Azhar Sharif to the people, Indonesian people?
Al-Azhar is very important for Indonesia. Al-Azhar is the inspirations of Islamic teaching for Indonesians, and Indonesians send their students to study Islam in Al-Azhar, to study Islam, moderate Islam, Wasatiyah Islam in Al-Azhar, and when they return to Indonesia, they spread this Wasatiyah Islam, the religion that brings peace to all of the universe. Islam as Rahmatan lil Alamin, the religion of peace. So the position of Al-Azhar is very strategic because through Al-Azhar, Indonesian students understand the true nature of Islam as the religion of peace.
They are dreaming to come to Egypt and to study in Azhar University?
Yes, and it's very prestigious.
Most of them?
Of Indonesians to study in Al-Azhar. It's a very prestigious university, and usually graduates from Al-Azhar, when they return in Indonesia, they become a figure in Indonesia, at least local figures, and they become
like what?
Like ulama, for instance. They become the source of ordinary Indonesians to ask something about Islam. So their opinions are really matter and affect Indonesians.
His Excellency Mr. Ambassador Helmi Fauzi, Ambassador of Indonesia here in Cairo. I'd like to thank you.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
And kullu am wa antum bikhair.
بنستكمل الحوار. احنا هنا موجودين زي ما قلنا في بدايه حلقتنا في السفاره الاندونيسيه في القاهره، ومعانا نينك رهايو، هي سكرتير اول في السفاره. هاي نينك رهايو, our first secretary in the embassy.
Yes.
Welcome to our program, and we are talking about Ramadan in Indonesia, also in Cairo.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Before we start talking about Ramadan in Indonesia, can you tell me more about this one?
Okay, this one is called gubuk in Indonesia. So we actually use this gubuk for providing food in special occasions.
Especially in Ramadan, or
also in other occasion, like one in Ramadan and then the other also in wedding. So beside the food served on the main table, they have many gubuks. Like last year we have Independence Day reception. We also provide the food in this group.
Typically from Indonesian cuisine. Can you tell me more?
Yeah, actually each area has different cuisines. So like in Aceh, it's it belongs to West Sumatra province.
Is this one or not?
No, actually it's crackers. But I mean, I tell the food from Aceh. The most favorite one is Aceh noodles. It's fried noodles, but with prawn and then with special spices from Aceh. And then this is sweets. Yes. And that one is also crackers. Mostly this is snacks, yes.
Snacks, yes. What is the Indonesian cuisine in Ramadan?
Yes, of course, it's different because Indonesian people want to have the best food during Ramadan. That's why the traders of the food make the price also higher during Ramadan. But people still buy even though the price are high because they want to serve the best food and also the best menu for at home for Ramadan.
Main dishes.
The main dishes will be still rice and chicken, and then a meat called rendang. It's from Padang, West Sumatra. It's one of the best food in Indonesia. It's spicy meat.
We have a kind of sweet, very well known
in Indonesia. Yes, of course. We have kolak, it's made from banana and pandan leaves, and then coconut milk and palm sugar, and also ice.
We eat it before the.
That was eaten after we hear the adhan on Maghrib.
After adhan?
After adhan, yes. And then some people go
as a starter.
Yes, as a starter. So some people, after having kolak as a starter, they will go have prayer, Maghrib prayer. But some other people have the main dishes directly.
What are the famous mosques in Indonesia, or in Java, or Sumatra?
There are one mosque in Jakarta. It's called Istiqlal Mosque. It was initiated by our first president, President Sukarno. If you ever heard, he is the best friend of President Gamal Abdel Nasser. The mosque is initiated at 1951, but it's built on 1961 and finished on 1978. And the name is Istiqlal, taken from Arabic word, means independence.
And how do Indonesian families prepare for the holy month or Ramadan in Indonesia?
Well, mostly Indonesian people are very highly spirited in welcoming the Ramadan and also the Eid. So normally they will, each family member will take part in preparing the food for iftar, also for sahur. So the kids will help the mother to prepare for sahur, for iftar, and then also for sahur.
And they put this kind of decoration, yes, before Ramadan, before the coming of Ramadan,
yes,
just before that.
And also the kids will set up the fireworks to make the the nuance very lively.
Finally, Nenek, you spend Ramadan in Egypt. You spent Ramadan for 3 times?
No, it's my second time actually. Yes.
How did you see Ramadan?
Ramadan here it's also very lively. I mean, in terms of the nuance, like every house has the panus, the lantern, and then I mean it's very different from Indonesia. We have the fireworks, and here you have the panus. Yeah. Also, I see that people provide the food for other people, like in Maidatur Rahman. Yeah. Actually, we also provide Maidatur Rahman in the Indonesian Cultural Center in Mosadak Doi for Egyptian or for travelers.
مصر روحها في رمضان.
Thank you, Nenek.
My pleasure.
Enjoy your stay here in Egypt, especially in Ramadan.
I hope that the rest of my Ramadan here in Egypt will be the best moment in my life.
ان شاء الله.
ان شاء الله.
بشكر كده نينك، وهي سكرتير اول في السفاره. وانتهت حلقتنا النهارده من اوراق دبلوماسيه في رمضان، وكنا موجودين في السفاره الاندونيسيه في القاهره. ونشوفكم ان شاء الله، ودايما اوراق دبلوماسيه في رمضان.